Thank you and welcome everyone to today's session on the NACHA Operating Rules. We're going to talk about all the changes that are taking place from 2020 next year, a big change that went into effect in 2019, and then of course beyond that in 2021 as well. So my complete biography is on the slide in front of you right now. Basically, I love what I do, and that's transferring payments knowledge to those people who attend my events, whether they be webinars, in-person workshops, teleseminars, or various local and national conferences. So the material I'm providing today in this 90-minute session is intended for educational purposes only. I am not providing any warranties or legal advice. And NACHA, being the National ACH Association, they own the copyright for the NACHA Operating Rules and Guidelines. So our agenda today is jam-packed full of information. We're going to talk about the changes that are happening in the same-day ACH space. They're improving funds availability, not just for same-day ACH entries, but all ACH entries, and that actually went into effect in September, so roughly 2 months ago that went into effect, and it's definitely a change for the better. We'll talk about a total of 4 operations bulletins throughout today's session based on the different changes that are happening to the NACHA operating rules. Those are operations bulletins number 1 through 4. We'll talk about the big change to the annual ACH rules compliance audit that went into effect January 1st of 2019. So if you have not done your ACH audit yet for 2019, it has changed the process. There is no more Appendix 8. There's also additional changes to the rules surrounding the quality of the ACH network and the risk management process. In other words, how do we help manage risk in the ACH network? There's some changes going on there as well. And most recently, there was a request for comment on a new rules change regarding ACH contact registration. It recently closed for comment. I'll give you the details on all of that. And then there was a request for comment that was responded to in 2018. And this has been around in the rule space since 2017. So I'm going to give you an update on what's going on in that space regarding ACH message entries. And then, have you ever thought about where ACH is going in the future? I'll also give you details on a request for information that was out there as well. It kind of gives you an idea of where ACH may or may not be headed. So some level setting for our participants today. The ACH participants and the flow of ACH transactions. I like to do some level setting in my sessions because the knowledge level of the participants could be extensive. You could be a seasoned ACH professional, or you could be new to the ACH world, or you may be at the executive level and just want to know what's new in the NACHA rule space. So knowing the different participants and how ACH works makes it easier to understand. Plus, this gives me an opportunity to talk about the options that are now in the ACH network with the same-day ACH functionality. So 5 basic participants in the ACH network. There are also third-party service providers acting as sending points and receiving points, and third-party senders, but I have left them out of the visual for purposes of making it simplistic. So we look at every ACH transaction starts with an originator. The originator, whether it's an individual or a company, they have a relationship with the receiver. That receiver can be an individual or a company as well. So there's a relationship there, and the originator is responsible for securing that authorization. With that valid authorization, the originator then goes to their financial institution, the originating depository financial institution, and through an agreement has the ODFI transmit their ACH entries, whether they're debit or credit entries, off into the ACH network, in other words, off to the operator. The ACH operator is the central clearing facility for all ACH transactions. There are 2 of them, the Federal Reserve Bank and Electronic Payments Network. So the operator does its thing, edits and processes all ACH entries according to the NACHA operating rules. They then make the entries available for pickup by the receiving depository financial institution, the RDFI, which is where the receiver has their account.